Morning guys, it's Monday again. They come round so quick. I always say that. Anyway, yesterday, Sunday, had a good day on the caravan. My mate Alan come over. I literally watched him do it. I felt like a spare prick at a wedding, but he knows what he's doing and he was quicker than me trying to bodge through it. So we're getting on well with that. Today's Monday, so I've only got a short day today because I've got other plans this afternoon. So we're going to just do a few hours on the Jag. Let me show you what Obviously putting the new studs in the exhaust manifolds, and also these heat shields, as you can see on this side, have been flapping about for ages. So you can see I've put a thing through there to find that hole. I'm going to rivet these on and then they shouldn't therefore flap. I did put these little builder's brace bracket thing on before to try and hold it, but that just bends out when you go along. So yeah, I'm going to rivet them and hopefully they will stay put. So that's the first job. Right, a bit of a change of plan. The rivets I had weren't big enough to stay in them holes, so we've riv nutted into the hole beneath it and put an M4 screw in with washer each side, and now obviously they can't flap about, so that's good. Also changed the earth lead while I'm here and there's no cat in the way, because the other one was looking a bit green and manky, so we've got a new one on there. So let's get the studs back in the turbos. Right, we got studs in on all the fittings. I had to tap out the holes where we'd obviously heated out and pulled it out because they got a bit churned up, but they're all tapped now, all in there nicely. So now we can get the cats back on. Right, the cats are all back on. I've plugged everything back in. I've obviously not put any of the under tray on yet because I just want to put the battery back on, fire it up and see what it does. Okay, so I started it and then remembered that I hadn't put the airflow meters on, so I got a warning message up. So I've disconnected the battery, reconnected those all up, fitted them up, put a hose clip on the bottom one instead of the pinch clip because it's a nightmare to get to, so the hose clip is easy. And I'm just waiting for the oil and filter. Now, Jaguar Land Rover recommend 5W30. If you watch LR Time, in Germany, those guys call it 5W dumbass, and the general recommendation seems to be 5W40 of the same spec. So that is on order, so hopefully that'll arrive soon. I was going to do the rear diff while I was here, but access to the fill hole is nigh on impossible. I'm not quite sure how you get up there, so that will stay as it is for now until I find a way of doing that. And gearbox is the same, easy to get to. You can get the sump and all that off, but I think you've got to get a full-on kit to change it, and it's got to be flushed out from the oil cooler pipes, so it's a bit of a rigmarole. So that's probably something to get done when it goes in for the belts. So let's get the oil and filter in and get that changed. All right, 13mm sump plug, so I've warmed the engine up, so now I'm just going to pop that off and let that fall out. All right, so we have drained our oil, it's nice and black, and also Russ has had a go at fixing my aircon pipe. So we've got a nice new fitting on there rated to 6,000 PSI. So hopefully that will do the job. We've just got to get it in the right position. And then, because obviously that is freely moving, so we just need to nip them up in the right place. So let's get this dirty oil out of the way. The filter and oil is just turned up. We'll change the filter and then, yeah, we'll go and put the pipe in. Right, so take the engine cover off. You have to open the oil cap, move that, then lift the cover off, obviously put the oil cap back on, and then you've got the oil filter in here, and it is a 32mm to undo that. So I've already obviously loosened it, and then we'll probably get a nice lot of oil as we pull this out as well. I've undone it earlier while I drained it to make sure it all went through, and there we go. Right, now I need two hands for this. There you go, you can see the one in there is a Bosch. The new one we've got is a Bosch, and we've also got a new O-ring for the housing. So I will get that all swapped over. Right, we've got the pipe in, thanks to Russ for fixing it. I was a bit worried about it rubbing against this, so I've cable tied it to that, and it was also rubbing on that water pipe, but now they're cable tied together, they're not going to rub on each other, they're just going to move as one. So hopefully we should be all right. Because I think this is slightly back this way because of the join in there, not by much. And I also think it might have gone the other side of, well, I might have put it the other side of this pipe before, hence why it's gone at an angle and got that pulley. So I think this is probably the best routing of it. So I suppose we'd better put the airbox back on, and then we can take it for an aircon regas at some point in the next couple of days. The rest of the oil's just turned up, so I'll put this airbox back on and check the level, and then top up as necessary. Right, so I'm just running it up now. It's on the maximum, but obviously the oil filter's empty because it's upside down when you take it out. So I'll let all that fill up, then I'll let it sit for a little while, and I'll check the oil level again. But I think we are done. Well, it's time to get this out of retirement. While the weather's nice, I might as well get it out and try and use it. So I've pulled it out. It looks a little worse for wear in here. My favourite friends. Right, let's get the tyres pumped up, and then once the Jag's off the lift, I'll bring it in and we'll get up in the air and have a look and see how bad it is. Alright, let's see how we're getting on under here then. Cat and exhaust look alright. Downpipe's all new. Rear subframe's all good because it was powder coated, so that's all good. We're all fine under there. Floor is all undersealed, so that all looks okay to me. Stainless pipes again, that's all good. Front subframe, so this is looking a little bit rubbish. So what I'll probably do is, while it's up here, give it a clean up, maybe get some wishbones on there, change these anti-roll bar bushes. I reckon we need to go through all the brakes. I've got the AP 4-pot brakes to go on, so they can all be changed. But other than that, it's not too shabby under there, so it should be all right for an MOT, I reckon. I've got to change the number plates because it's now got my private plate on it. So right, let's get the wheels off, I suppose. Right, well, it failed the AC vacuum pressure hold test. So I've just brought it back. I'm going to let it cool down and I'm going to check all the connections. I've removed the one off the condenser and I'm just cleaning the threads up with the tap, just to make sure the bolt can go in easy and tight. So yeah, then I'll have to nip up. I've had the airbox off. I'll have to nip up those again and see if I can reach in to the joint through there. Once it's cooled down a bit, it's a bit red hot at the moment. So fingers crossed when we go back this afternoon, once they're all tightened, we might have pressure, but I don't know. Right, it's nearly done. So now we've got to watch the AC pressure on the leak test and see whether it stays or goes down. Well, it's held, so we should be good to go with any luck. Let's see what it does. Please wait. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yay! It's filling it up. A little catch up. After the Jag's aircon situation yesterday, I can now confirm my nipples are erect and it is bloody cold. So that's the result. So anyway, today, back on the caravan. The other night, my good friend Alan come over again and we got cracking on reboarding one side. So that side is all now reboarded, which is good. I've just been, hang on, out the front. I've run all new electrics underneath. I've just been getting them all fitted up there on some new fuse blocks. I thought it was a way of connecting them all together and keep an eye on if anything blows, which can be accessed from the hole inside the van if I need to. So once the gas bottles and all that are in here, at least I can get to them from the top so I can see which fuses are blown. I'm just waiting for my 13 core cable to come, and then I'll wire them up to a 13-pin socket because that's what the Range Rover uses. So that's that. The other end of that cable is, I'm making it all mucky in here. The other end of that cable is here. I've got to seal that hole up. I've got to cable tie the cable around the back. Now the wire is a bit smaller than the original, I've got to be honest. but I am going to convert the bulbs to LED, so hopefully that'll all be good. So next is I've got to join all this up, and then I can then put the insulation all back in, seal all this back up and board the back end. I'm just painting the window black because obviously the bed, you can see where the bed is here. You don't really want people looking through that window in at you. So I've scuffed up that window and painted it black inside and out, so that will go back on in a minute. But I'm going to sit and do these electrics. Right, so next job is to get the viscous fan, the aircon pump changed on Disco 2. So first thing I've got to remove the viscous fan. I've got the laser 36mm and 32mm viscous fan spanner, using a 36mm, and I just used a pry bar just to wedge the clutch to stop it from moving, and then undone it anti-clockwise. So now you can see the clutch isn't turning and the fan is. Let's get this out of the way. Just be careful not to fall off the threads and go through the radiator. Next is a 15mm on the tensioner, and you turn it towards the driver's side, and that loosens the belt so you can get the belt off out the way. Just remember the routing of it. It's there if anyone needs to see it. To get the pulley loose, you got to undo the 10mm bolts. What I do is not force, but turn the tensioner the other way, so it over tensions, and then that tightens the belt right up, and then that grips that, so it allows you to undo it. Next is the 16mm bolt that holds the pipe on. Obviously it will come out of the power steering fluid bottle there, so underneath I have put a tray to catch it all, so undo that next. Next to the 5 10mm headed bolts that hold the pump on, as you can see, long ones at the base, and then this one is the smallest one. These two are the same, but that's smaller than these, so you've got to make sure you keep in the right order. What you've also got to bear in mind is the power steering pump runs the water pump. See the keyway in the back, so it can be a bit tight stuck on there, so I gave it a little tap, and then it come out of the housing. That dripping you can see is just out of the, there you go, out of the fluid pump there, pipe. So we've now got the drain on the base. This will now move up sufficiently enough, there you go, to get to the clip. So you can undo the clip, and then the power steering pump is out, and then it's just a matter of fitting the new one. I haven't got any of those clip pliers to do those clips, so I'll just put a normal hose clip on. So let's get this swapped out now. Right, here's the new one, nice and shiny, from D2 Parts in Essex. So I'm just going to whip that clip off and change over, and I've got a nice new hose clip to go on. And the new one is in and back together, and the belt is all back on. I'm just now going to get some fluid, put it in, obviously run it up, make sure we've got no leaks, and then I can put the fan and that back on. So just got to wait for the fluid to arrive. Right, so I've rigged up the old wiring that come off it. I've checked the continuity to it all, plugged it in there because my wire still hasn't turned up. So at least I can try the lights, and then I can start boxing in the back. So let's have a go. Right, well, that's looked like a success. So that means we can now go and box in the rear, tape them all up, secure them, and yeah, start boxing it in. So when the new cable arrives, I know I can just literally plug it all in, and if there's any problem, it's going to be that end as opposed to the rear end. So right, crack on. Right, well, that's now got the alley sandwich board all over it. It's all insulated, so now we've just got a board over it with timber. Obviously that bottom window is going to be boarded over, so there's only going to be an opening for the top one. So right, next job. Right, well, as you saw there, the Jag had DPF full on the dash. I've had it once before on this so far. All you got to do is take it on the motorway, drive it above, I think it's about 40 for a prolonged time. So at 60, 70, it was only about 4 minutes, and it regened and cleared itself. So obviously, because I only do short journeys in it, during the week, it needs a clear out once a week, really. So anyway, that's all sorted. And I was on my way to see my silver Discovery. Obviously, I've got the one that I've done the power steering pump on, but that's my friend's. And so my one is at his, because I took that to bring his one home. He had someone who was interested in it. So I've been over there this morning. They've had a drive and they're probably going to buy it. They're just double checking with the insurance company. So that's a good thing. And obviously I've been in here. Hang on. So I've cut that board out. I just need another person, need Alan to come back and help me actually mount it. And then I've cut the other bit to go along the top. But obviously need to cut the window surround out. So yeah, we're getting there with it. So I think as far as videos go, that will do for this week. So next week we want to get this pretty much not done, but you know, tidied, the bed fitted, the separating wall done, so it's ready to go away next week to the Land Rover show. I've got to wait, I'm still waiting on the power steering fluid for my friend's TD5 that I've done the pump on, and then once that's done, that's got to go for an MOT. And I still need to get the wheels off the MGF and make a start on it, because I got it on the lift, told you I was going to get the wheels off and make a start, and ended up being in here. So yeah, next week is that. Other than that, I think that is all. So have a lovely weekend. It's a nice long bank holiday, if you're not working, that is. So have a great one. Thanks for watching the videos, I appreciate it. I know they're not so technical or in-depth at the moment, but we've got the Land Rover projects coming on very soon. So we'll be doing my TD5 on the Mare chassis when that arrives. And then obviously I've got the other Defender to change over onto my old chassis. And then we've got the Range Rover Classic, we've got the launch day Discovery, various other bits and pieces. So right, so thanks for watching, have a good one. Like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next one.